She was deceitfully forced into a rape scene. Then she went through hell. I am an actress, not a prostitute. It was supposed to be an ordinary day on the set of Last Tango in Paris by Bernardo Bertolucci. However, during the shooting, something happened that shook the artistic world and ruined the life of the teenage actress. The director, along with the lead actor Marlon Brando, came up with the idea to film a rape scene without informing the girl. "Don't worry, it's just a film," the actor said to the unsuspecting Maria Schneider, then restrained her. Tears streamed from her eyes. She had no idea it was a trap. Last Tango in Paris is a popular film directed by the Italian filmmaker Bernardo Bertolucci. The lead roles were played by Marlon Brando and the young Maria Schneider. The story is about Paul, a 45-year-old American, played by Brando, who, after his wife's suicide, meets 20-year-old Frenchwoman Jeanne, played by Schneider. The couple immediately connects with a passionate feeling. Their relationship is dominated by an intense desire that neither can resist. Their meetings are regular and continue until the funeral of his wife. The encounters are purely erotic. For many years, Last Tango in Paris enjoyed fame and was considered one of the most controversial productions of the 20th century. The daring scenes of Bertolucci's work were not allowed by censors in several countries. The premiere itself caused much commotion. The anal rape scene using butter, featuring Marlon Brando and Maria Schneider, became part of cinematic history, but it was so brutal that the Italian director's vision was labeled with an X rating, indicating pornography and significant violence. A decade later, this was changed to R, representing material suitable only for adults. "Waiters in restaurants will serve me butter with a silly smile," lamented Brando after the premiere. The film quickly received critical acclaim. Last Tango in Paris received numerous nominations for prestigious awards, including an Oscar. Maria Schneider, as Jeanne, won the Italian David di Donatello Film Award and instantly became one of the most popular stars, also labeled a sex symbol. Unfortunately, her participation in Bertolucci's production deeply scarred her and destroyed her budding life. She had no idea what they did to her. She ran out of the cinema, screaming. Maria Schneider was born in 1952 in Paris, the child of Romanian model Marie-Christine Schneider and actor Daniel-Yves Alfred Gélin. During their affair, Gélin was married to actress and producer Danielle Delorme and never acknowledged Maria as his biological daughter. She met her father only 3 times. Raised by her mother near the French-German border, Schneider was passionate about films from a young age, visiting the cinema 4 times a week. At 15, she left school and after a fierce argument with her mother, moved to central Paris and worked as a model, which introduced her to Brigitte Bardot. The famous actress offered the underage Schneider a room in her home, providing her access to the film industry and professional modeling agencies. In 1972, 19-year-old Schneider, soon to turn 20, was offered the lead role in the controversial work of Italian director Bertolucci. He chose her because she reminded him of Lolita, only more perverse. Schneider had already appeared on the big screen in Terence Young's drama The Christmas Tree, the comedy Les Femmes, alongside Brigitte Bardot, Jean-Pierre Marielle, Anna Duperret, and Maurice Ronet, and the melodrama Madly. Schneider knew Last Tango in Paris was about a sexual relationship between a middle-aged American and a young, attractive Frenchwoman, featuring extremely daring erotic scenes. She had no idea she would soon regret her decision to participate. Bertolucci was fat, sweaty, and manipulated Marlon and me terribly, she said, describing how the director, once a mentor, became her powerful enemy. After finishing the erotic scenes, Schneider couldn't speak to him. Disturbing events at the film's premiere further fueled speculation about what happened on set. I was with Maria when she watched Last Tango in Paris for the first time. She was in shock. She had no idea what they had done to her. She ran out of the cinema, screaming that she didn't want to live and wanted to disappear. That film ruined her life. 44 years later, it became clear why Maria Schneider harbored unimaginable hatred for the director who made her a star. I wanted to see her reaction as a girl, not as an actress. I do not regret it. In 2013, Bernardo Bertolucci confessed that the anal rape scene, which had shocked viewers for years, was not agreed upon with the actress. The director, in collaboration with Marlon Brando, decided not to inform the teenager of their plans. They wanted Maria Schneider to behave like a woman, not an actress, and for her reaction to sexual violence to be genuine, full of frustration, fear, and anger. We were having breakfast on the floor where we were filming. There was a baguette and butter, and we both thought of the same thing. In a way, I was horrible to Maria because I didn't tell her. I wanted her reaction as a girl, not as an actress. I feel very guilty, but I do not regret it. Sometimes to make films, to achieve something, we must be completely free, explained the 76-year-old director to Italian television journalists. His surprising confession sparked a media storm and numerous discussions. Marlon Brando further inflamed the situation by revealing that the director's will was to have real sex on set, but the actors agreed only to simulate it. Many well-known and respected Hollywood figures, including Jessica Chastain, Anna Kendrick, and Chris Evans, expressed their outrage at Bertolucci and Brando's actions. They demanded that the Italian director be stripped of all his awards and called for legal action. Evan Rachel Wood, who had publicly confessed to being a victim of brutal rape twice, expressed her anger at Bertolucci and Brando's conspiracy. "It is disturbing and infuriating. If they thought this was okay, they are deeply sick individuals." Chris Evans echoed her sentiments, publishing a declaration of solidarity with Maria Schneider. "I will never look at this film, Bertolucci, or Brando the same way again. It's incredibly disgusting. I am furious." Jessica Chastain also posted a powerful message on social media, describing the situation on the set of Last Tango in Paris. "To all who love this film, you are watching a 48-year-old man rape a 19-year-old girl. The director planned the attack. I feel sick." Afterward, Marlon didn't even apologize. While the outrage following the director's interview was justified, the problem lay elsewhere. In 2007, 6 years before Bertolucci's controversial confession, Maria Schneider gave a moving interview to the British Daily Mail, describing her experience on the film set. Her words, however, were not taken seriously at the time. "They only told me about it right before shooting the scene. I was furious. I should have called my agent or consulted a lawyer because you can't force an actor to do something not in the script, but I didn't know that then," she explained regretfully. Marlon said, "Maria, don't worry, it's just a film." But during that scene, even though what Marlon did wasn't real rape, my tears were real. Honestly, I felt humiliated. In a way, I was raped by both Brando and Bertolucci. Afterward, Marlon didn't even apologize. Luckily, we shot it in one take. What did her film partner think? Marlon Brando later admitted that Last Tango in Paris was the director's manipulation. In an interview with Lawrence Grobel, he said he had no idea what the film was about. "It's like Bernardo Bertolucci's psychoanalysis. I don't think it worked." Seeing the growing storm, Bertolucci tried to clarify his shocking interview, slightly changing his stance. He claimed Maria Schneider had read the script, and the only unknown was the use of butter in the rape scene. "I want to explain the misunderstanding the media writes about worldwide. A few years ago, I gave an interview. I was asked about the famous butter scene. I explained, perhaps too briefly, that Maria didn't know Marlon and I decided to use butter. We wanted her spontaneous reaction. That's where the misunderstanding came from. It's not true Maria didn't know about the rape scene. Unfortunately, Maria Schneider lived with trauma until the end of her life. After Last Tango in Paris, all the roles offered to her featured explicit nudity and bold bed scenes, hindering her as a young and talented actress trying to shed the image of the naked woman on screen. "It's amazing. I've played in 50 films, and everyone still asks me about Last Tango," she said with irritation. She rejected the role of Drusilla in Tintobras's Caligula, saying, "I am an actress, not a prostitute." To escape reality, Schneider increasingly turned to drugs, becoming addicted to cocaine, LSD, and heroin. Her public statements were often controversial, and her behavior was deemed unpredictable. At her lowest point, she attempted suicide, seen as a defense mechanism against her experiences on the film set and the premiere of Last Tango in Paris. "I lost 7 years of my life and deeply regret it. I started using drugs when I became famous. I didn't like being a celebrity, especially the insidious and improper image people had of me after Last Tango in Paris. I had no family support to protect me. I was harassed. People approached me on planes just to whisper obscene things. I felt persecuted." Film Jean decided that after what happened to her at the hands of male artists on the set of the production, she would never love a man again. In 1974, the actress declared herself bisexual, and her partner became photographer Joan Townsend. Maria Schneider's honest revelation, instead of gaining acceptance from her surroundings, resulted in harassment by the media and sensationalist tabloids. Unable to cope with her depressive states, she checked into a psychiatric hospital in Rome the following year, where she spent several years. The shadow of Last Tango in Paris haunted her for the rest of her life. This film ruined her career and was the cause of her severe psychological problems. Despite appearing later alongside Jack Nicholson in Michelangelo Antonioni's acclaimed film The Passenger, Schneider was unable to replicate her professional success. She was a sex symbol, an extraordinarily beautiful woman with such charisma, but men couldn't have her. "That won't work in Hollywood," directors said. The actress never worked with Bertolucci again and never took legal action against the director for the film's deceitful trap. She bluntly called him, "He's my enemy. He's worse than the most dangerous gangster." When they accidentally met years later at the Cannes Festival, she turned away, saying, "I don't know this man." Maria Schneider made her last big-screen appearance in 2008. She died 3 years later on February 3, 2011, after a long battle with cancer. A decade has passed since then,